Advent, the season of waiting, of anticipation, of expectation. Today's text, Mark 13, and particularly verse 37. And what I say to you, says Jesus, I say to all, stay awake. Stay awake. Be alert. Be ready. On this first Sunday of Advent, we are encouraged to think particularly about the patriarchs. I always want to say, and the matriarchs. Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and his 4 wives. But also it includes thinking on through Moses and Joshua and on to King David. Those who were forerunners of the faith. If we think around Abram and Sarai, stepping out in faith, leaving Ur of the Chaldees, leaving Haran, going to a land that they didn't know because God had called them and because God had promised to bless them. They went expectantly, with anticipation, but it was a tough journey and a tough period, and they lost patience on more than one occasion. The same can be said of all the patriarchs. They had promises from God that didn't happen quite as quickly as they'd anticipated. So they lost patience. Instead of living in anticipation and expectation, they thought they knew better and that they could make things happen. In God's incredible grace, of course, he always works through that and he overrules and brings about his purposes in and through the midst of human frailty and mistakes and impatience. Boy, this year has been tough, hasn't it? And it's been hard to be patient and to live in anticipation. We've lived in anticipation of easing of restrictions, and then that's happened, and then they come back in, and it feels harder. We've lived in anticipation of a vaccine, and there now appears to be some real hope on that score. God has been at work through the ingenuity of the scientists to come up with vaccines that look like they'll work. And in church life, it's been tough, really tough, in so many different ways. As we enter this season of Advent, let's do so with a sense of expectancy, a sense of anticipation in God. And in so doing, we will stay awake, stay alert to God, to God's call, to God at work among us. And let's seek to be patiently waiting, accepting that things are not moving as fast as we would like, accepting that we have to take it one step at a time. We all know that life is not going to be easy for years ahead. So let's live with this expectant waiting on God, with patience, with a long view. And let's be inspired by Abram and Sarai and all the others who followed God's call and waited, knowing that God would always keep his promise. Let's all stay awake.